show.
You should put that. It's fine. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. Do I have that on this? I have it on Zoom.
Yeah, but you can't see it because it's just us out here right now. You'll have to wait till we have Ivana.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to learn some things today. We have one of the two important sisters from the book, The Magic of Employee Influence.
Ivana Brutenič.
You do it so much better than me. Ivana Brutenič.
I'm very excited about this.
Me too. So let's do some things.
Hi, everyone. Tim Kitzrow from NBA Jam and NFL Blitz, welcoming you to The Backpack Show. Your hosts, Chris Brogan, Kerry Gorgone, Boom Shakalaka.
Backpack Show.
He's the best. That's probably half the reason you haven't blown up this show yet. You blow up every show.
Yeah.
But I think you like that. He did those. So if you change the whole brand, like you would need a new opener.
I'm gonna have to beg Tim Kitzrow to come back.
I love him.
Hey, you know why though? Because it's so easy to make a show like this with StreamYard. You can't do this. cbrogan.net/StreamYard. You can make your own show, but you probably can't find a small little Eastern European region. Well, European. It's not Eastern, right? It's in the middle. Do you know?
Let's ask. Do I know? Yes, I know.
I don't know.
I know where it is.
Oh, what did I do? Did I break a thing?
No.
Oh, I just did that. Okay. Ivana, save us from ourselves. Mostly me. How are you?
Doing great.
Originally Slovakia. Where is it in my? I'm American, so I have a map allergy. Where are you?
I also do have a map allergy, so.
But
even if Slovakia is a very small country, we have 5 million people. We are right in the center of Europe. So basically, it's Central Europe called Eastern Europe.
Central. Okay, you can't call it Eastern.
No, you can, but do you? I wouldn't. I don't know. What do I know? We just don't want to be rude, Ivana. That's the important thing.
It's totally okay. I have no problem with that.
I have a pretty fun sort of like preliminary question. I have a sister and I love her, but I don't think I could collaborate with her on a daily basis to the extent that you collaborate with your sister. So how did that start and how is that going?
Well, I think it really helped our relationship. So I will start from the end. Sometimes a business can be hard, but I think it would be hard with anyone. And when you work with your sister, you can always rely on her. So if anything happens, she's here for me and vice versa. And I just love that. So we have been working together for 10 years already. And so far, so good.
Are you close in age or is one of you significantly older than the other?
We are 6 years apart. I'm the older one, but no one can tell. So
the responsible one. Well, I asked because my sister is 12 years older and so used to babysit me a lot. So I think our dynamic might be different.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't go
I can imagine.
I cannot imagine you in business with your sister. Ivana, so when I asked you what title we should put against your name, you said LinkedIn strategist. What strategies should people pursue on LinkedIn? Where did you get into this line of business and what makes you think this is the place to be?
Okay, so long story short, I had a headhunting company that I started at the age of 22. Oh. And after a few years, people were starting to ask, how is it possible that you can find people that nobody else is able to find? And well, there were many strategies, and one of them was LinkedIn. So I started training our clients in LinkedIn, and then I just realized that LinkedIn is just the biggest database in the world, business database, and it's for free. So when I started with headhunting, it was like we were using the yellow pages, and trying to get to organizational chart to find people. And now everything was there for free. So I was just so excited, and I saw this is not going to be just for recruitment or headhunting, and this is a business platform. So that has been 10 years ago. My sister joined the company, and since then, we started with LinkedIn consulting, and we just focus on solely on LinkedIn consulting right now.
You were not crazy enough to work with your sister, so you decided, let's write a book together. You thought, you know what else we should do is make it worse by arguing over a book. How did this process go to put this book together? Was it very collaborative? How many times did we have to yell?
Well, it started, I called my sister and I told her, we should write the book, like the one we have been talking about. And she said, yes, let's do it now. And I was so surprised, like, what? Now? So this has been in December, and last February, we just started to write it. So it's been a year in making. We had a great publisher, great book coach. So around 30 people probably worked on that book together. So
Wow.
but there was like a lot of stuff going on with editing and everything. And I love the process. We have 4 small boys. So it was kind of interesting because we needed to write, like a chapter every 2-3 weeks. And it's been intense. But I would say we never argued like around the book. Never. Not even once.
Some people are pretty fussy about their books, so my hat's off to you. But I have a question. I feel like in between starting the headhunting business and writing the book, you established the necessary credentials to sell yourself as an expert, like such that someone would publish the book. So at what point do you start working on your own presence on LinkedIn and sharing tips for becoming more visible there with others?
That is a great question. I remember the time when I was a business owner and I was telling myself how proud I am that I don't need to do any advertising, like people are coming through word of mouth. And I just didn't see there was a bigger game to be played. And once I just realized that, okay, I could use my personal brand to grow my business brand, probably 12, 13 years ago. So I have always been visible as a headhunter. I have had like media coverage and so on, but not on that scale, like on LinkedIn. And what I really love on LinkedIn, that you become industry famous. That means like you can walk in the streets, like nobody knows, but if you walk into a conference room, people know who you are.
Oh, you just described this guy right here.
Industry famous. I've never heard that phrase. I love it.
We used to say just Twitter famous.
Yeah.
But of course, it's not Twitter anymore, and now there's more places.
I love that.
Ivana, let me ask you a question that just came up based on what you were saying. So Slovakia in Central Europe, it is a very different culture than some of the rest of the Western business world. There's certain expectations. There are many women who feel challenged by the opportunities to get involved in business because they maybe have perceptions and whatnot. Talk a little bit about
perceptions. I have all kinds of thoughts and opinions of my own, and I can vote. I have credit.
I'm just saying.
They let women do all kinds of things now.
What? A lady cop. Women, it's hard in business, and women have been taught a bunch of things is kind of what I'm getting to. Talk to me a little bit about what you learned from Slovakia, then into the larger world, and then into LinkedIn. What are you sharing with people? How are you communicating the differences and the needs that people need to be seen and visible and make it better?
Yeah, our business is global now, and we see the differences, and Europe is much more conservative than the US and Canada, for example. And, I would say that being raised in this post-socialist country, you have seen, like, we have a saying that the name of the fools is written on all pillars. So that means that it's foolish to be visible. It's foolish to want more, I would say. So you should be like satisfied with what you have. It's changing, but still, I would say it's ingrained, not only in people in Central Europe or Eastern Europe. You can see it in many cultures, actually. And I would say this is really our strength that we understand when a client tells us, I'm afraid to be visible, or they say, for example, I don't think I need to be visible. It's not necessary. Yes, my business is just doing okay, and I'm proud of that. And I have been there, so I totally understand it. I'm like totally proud that people are using word of mouth. But what if you can add a few zeros to the people that know you? You know, so it could be 100 or it could be 100,000 people. And you can do it from anywhere in the world right now. So I think this is really exciting that we are here in Europe, in a tiny country, and we can work with clients all over the world. And you really have to mind the differences. Yeah.
I'm very impressed you had the vision to start the business and go with it, because what you could have done at the young age of 22 was say, I'm a headhunter, who are you looking for? And then been like, oh, what a coincidence. I got the perfect person, me. Mm-hmm. And you could have just gone into a whole different career and not done headhunting. So very impressed about this. Do you find that the experience of, I don't know how to say, are women more reluctant to make themselves more visible than men? In your experience?
Yes. We did a questionnaire for women business owners, like 150 of them, and 80% of them said they have imposter syndrome. And I think it would be more if like we really dig deep, it would be more. But I think men have the same. Being visible doesn't feel safe a lot of times. For example, on LinkedIn, you don't have that much hate. So for me, it's like a place where you go. You don't have to be afraid of people judging you. Of course, they will judge you like in normal life, in business life. They will judge you anyway, so it doesn't matter. And you can get yourself trained to be visible. So what I really love, even if you are introvert, it's not a problem. You can become a brand voice, even if you're introverted, and really inspire thousands of people with one post. But you just need to be consistent and get yourself to do it.
So is that the crux of what you're trying to suggest in the magic of employee influence? Are you and your sister saying, look, I'm on the side of helping people find their next role. It would be so much easier for me if you were seen as someone who had a body of work and were influential and who had really developed a presence through LinkedIn to match our intent to find you the best possible role. Is that how these things go together, Ivana?
Yes, we have seen a lot of companies struggle with employee advocacy. So employee advocacy basically means that you have employees who are representing your brand online, for example, on LinkedIn. And there were companies that were thinking about this for years. They were trying to implement it for months, usually like 12 months process. And after 10 years, we just came up with a process that takes 10 hours. So in 10 hours, you can start with just launching the project. And this was like, we thought, isn't this too short? You know, people are going to think this is too short, it's impossible, but it is possible. So the thing is that you want to choose 5 people in your company who will represent the brand. You want to tell them why they should do it, because otherwise they will stop in a few months or weeks. And if you have a structure, they can carry on for 2-3 years and build your brand. Even if you are a huge corporation, you can never buy the impact your people can do for free. Yes, so it's impossible with paid advertising. And if you are a small business, then also if you have like 2-3 people on LinkedIn that are presenting your brand values, it really works. So we were excited and we wanted to give this process place where people can go, buy, read it, and implement.
What I was thinking while you were asking your question was that a lot of companies would cite that exact reason as why they don't want to encourage brand advocates or employee advocacy online, because they don't want to help people find their next role. They kind of want, although smart companies are open to that, but a lot of companies are still thinking, why would I help them build a brand so they can go away and work somewhere else? So what are the benefits for the people in building their platform apart from finding their next job? And what benefits are there for the employer in this scenario?
Yeah, as a former headhunter, I can tell you, if you just tell your employees go and post whatever on LinkedIn and they don't know how, it will happen, that they will get more offers. People on LinkedIn, people who are senior and really good, they get offers all the time. So it's like nothing changes, you know, your employees are already getting the offers. So you want to choose people who are really tied to the company more. So you want to really think about it, who you choose. And then you want to work with them. And the thing is, interesting thing is that it really builds the culture in a way that those people who are ambassadors want to stay, because now they see I am important in this company. People like my opinions, and my opinions matter inside the company and outside the company. So you have to tell those people, this is an honor that you will represent our company. Not like, we don't like this social media stuff, so please go and post something. You know, our competition is doing it, so do something, but we don't care. So if you really give them like praise for this activity, they will like it. And you need to really tap into their motivation. So for example, a CEO has a different motivation than accountant or an assistant. So you have to find motivation of each one of the ambassadors. And therefore, we have just 5 to start with. Yeah, not 20,000, even though you have thousands of employees, it doesn't matter. And for those people, sometimes they are reluctant to build their personal brand. They're like, oh, I don't need to do that. I want to build the company brand, but not my personal brand. And they will really see that their personal brand changes how industry famous they are. So if they walk into a room, people know them. There are media approaching them, journalists, they speak at conferences, they get awards. We have many clients who got awards or who got praised as the best LinkedIn profiles in their niche. And it really feels good, you know. And then it's the dopamine. If you do like the post and they're good and you get response, it's addictive, of course. So you want to make sure you don't spend a lot of time there. So our process is just 10 minutes a day.
Oh, I like that. We'll have to talk a bit more to that. Joanne says, that's what I like about LinkedIn, though. Most folks are professional, and trolling has been more or less non-existent in my experience. So
Mostly.
I threw a word in there. I said more or less because, you know, I get trolled. So 10 minutes a day. This whole process is tell a company, hey, company, let's pick 5 people inside the org that can best represent it. I was mildly surprised when you said accountant as one of your examples. Mm-hmm. I feel like I don't want my accountant representing my corporation. Do you pick from very particular departments? Is there a reason why or why not to pick a department or person?
Yes. Yeah, we have a whole process. So I can't say really you have to pick someone from the accounting department, but you might be surprised that he or she would really like it and attract those people you need in that department. Yes. So for example, if you are looking for more accountants right now, it's a good move. Probably, but you have to there is a whole process what to check. Usually we are using people from HR department, marketing, communication, sometimes someone from product department, depending what kind of product it is. Sometimes IT department, if we need to attract more people to IT department, some technical stuff. So really you need to have a very nice mixture of employees, for example, from the board or management, some lower senior staff, some junior staff. And then during the project, you can really see how all those people cooperate. And a board member talks to a junior person, like an assistant in that project, and now they see the different perspective. So the board member sees, okay, this is what millennials coming to these positions, or maybe Gen Z right now, are thinking. And the junior person sees, okay, this is why our board member made this decision. And now I understand why our company is going this way. So it's very important also for internal communication, sometimes more than the external one.
So it can do a lot, it sounds like, for the organic reach of your social content, obviously, as a company. It can also do something positive for your recruiter brand, because you're going not just top level CEO thought leadership stuff, but going through the ranks to different types of audiences and people. So what can it do for the employee that would translate into, I don't know how to say it. Yeah. Are they going to get paid more because of this? Like, how does this work in the long run? How are they making themselves more valuable to the company?
Yeah. So one of the things is that they are more visible also inside the company. So when an important project comes, people think about them. Yeah. So there is a project coming and they're like, okay, who do we get this project? And they're like, okay, Jane, because I have seen her post and, they already know about the things she's working on. Because usually, even in small companies, if you have like 5 people, sometimes you don't know what the other people are doing. Not even in like large corporations. So this is one thing. They are more visible. They get more interesting projects. They get praise from the outside. For example, if they want to hire someone to their department, so let's say it's a manager of accounting department, and she has a real problem because she needs like 5 new accountants and there are none. So her mission is to fill the roles, because then she will have less work and she doesn't have to think about like, oh, I'm still missing those 5 accountants and it's 6 months, it's been 6 months and we have still the same problem. So every time the ambassador decides to be an ambassador, we always ask them, what is your core motivation and what do you want to solve? And we find a strategy how to solve it. Sometimes they just want to be more visible for the headquarters. Sometimes it happens like, I came up with this great idea, but nobody in Germany knows that I did it. And now after 2 years, people from Germany are coming with my project, but it's mine. So if they started to talk about it, 2 years before, people know like who came up with the project and who came up with the ideas. And sometimes it's like a little power struggle inside the company and you want to be more visible. So you can tap into that too.
Ivana, if Christina were here, your sister, what would she be upset when she watches this later? What is she going to be upset that we didn't talk about with her?
Well, this is a great question.
She'll like punch your arm and say, I can't believe you didn't mention this. And I asked that question, like, does she have a focus that's different than your focus? Like maybe you really love, like, you must make more video. And she's like, who cares? You have to write better letters. Like, is there something like that between the two of you?
Well, I prefer writing and she prefers videos. So she's like all the time motivating people for videos, but only if they really are really not against it. We are not trying to make anyone who doesn't want to create any type of content just to make it. It doesn't make sense. So maybe she would like me to really mention that we always work with people in a way that it feels joyful for them to be on socials. So this is one thing, like really they are joyful and they like it. And the second thing is they have a structure where they don't have to scroll social media for hours. Because in general, a person spends 2 hours and 30 minutes every day on social media already. And this is only the thing that they say they do, so probably it's more. And what if they could invest their time into their career or business through LinkedIn? So what I really like is to think about how we use our time and how can we use our time and create business content in just 10 minutes that will bring clients that are very similar to us, or the clients that have great results with our product or service, or the talent. And it saves a lot of time, because when people see you, like it's the same like when people see your show, they know your vibe. And it's the same with us on LinkedIn. People know our vibe and if they want to work with us or no. So we don't have to meet for 10 times. It's much, much easier. And a lot of industries that say, oh, you cannot use online sales for our industry. Well, probably last year we bought 2 cars without even seeing it online.
Wow.
Yes, you couldn't imagine this 5 years ago. It's changing so much. And now just the statistics is that if you have a project around $500,000, people don't need to meet for that. If it's under $500,000, it's a pretty big project.
It's a big project.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to the part of the show where we ask every single guest the same thing that we've ever asked since we started this really great idea, which is what's in your backpack? Now, this could be something physical. It could be something metaphorical. Kerry, what's an example of something physical you could put in a backpack?
Extra set of teeth.
Oh, an extra set of teeth.
DJ Cumberbund from YouTube.
Choice. Yep. How about something metaphorical? There's probably something, right?
Oh, kindness. Burlesque performer Ariel Helvetica put kindness in the backpack.
Kindness. Ivana, what do we add to the backpack for you?
So for me, it's courage.
Courage.
And a book.
Oh, I like it.
So courage to do things that I'm afraid to do. And a business book. Any kind of business books. I love them.
I know some business books. That sounds like a great idea.
Trust Agents, The Impact Equation.
Freaks Shall Inherit the Earth. A very thick book called It's Not About the Tights. All right. Listen, the one thing I thought about when you said about courage is that my grandmother was courageous in strange ways. One of the ways she was with horses. I am not as courageous around horses as she was, but it got her bitten one time.
Oh. And that was a big